Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. Today, we are talking to Siobhan. She is actually my podcast editor, thanks to my friend Kira Bainborough for putting us in touch. We have known each other for about 10 months now, and this is the first time that we actually chatted to each other, like on a phone call vibe. We always message and chat on Instagram, and I've sent her voice notes, but we've never really had like a convo. So here we are 10 months later having an hour conversation. But she is fascinating. She's traveled all over the world. She does voiceovers and just amazing things. And in light of the coronavirus debacle and planning a wedding, there's just so much to her that you will hear about in this podcast episode. But I just love her. I love watching her stories on Instagram. She is Scottish, and if you know me, you know that I lived in Edinburgh for a while, and I've been back, I think, twice now, and it is like one of my favorite places in the world. It's just so magical and so Harry Potterish. And the fact that, I mean, out of everyone in the world, that the fact that she is the editor that I chose, and she is Scottish and from Edinburgh specifically, it's just so crazy how the universe works and how it brings you together with the people that you're meant to be with. So I hopefully will meet her in person one day, not now because Corona, and also because she's moving back to Edinburgh sometime this year now. So I'll have to just see her there next time I go and meet up there, maybe somewhere international. So we had like a really amazing chat, and I think that you will find her as fascinating as I do. Welcome to Siobhan. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Jane. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I am currently living in Cape Town, but I'm from Scotland originally. My family are all still there. And I am a voice actor mainly for cartoons, but also for audiobooks. And I also edit podcasts. I edit this podcast.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And I'm also working on finishing a novel that I've been writing for the past few years. So, yeah.
So now that you're in Corona quarantine, you can finish it.
Exactly. I've got no excuse now.
So what does self-love mean to you?
Self-love means to me it's listening to my intuition. So really like following my gut, listening to my heart, being kind to myself. I think it's so easy to just ignore what your gut is telling you and just listen to your head and listen to other people. But for me, it's all about like stopping and just seeing like what's going on inside me and listening to it, following my intuition 100%.
Yeah, so important. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They're like, oh, this doesn't feel right, but I'm still going to do it. And then afterwards you're like, damn it.
Yeah. No, like definitely before for me, there's many times in my life where I've had that niggling feeling like I shouldn't do something, and then I've done it anyway. And I'm like, why didn't I just listen to my gut the first time? So
Yeah. And I think
yeah.
also if you do your human design report, like I did mine with Kerry, and I'm a manifesting generator, and she said like your gut is your hugest telling point. And it is like, if it's not a aha and it's an then you
Yeah.
shouldn't do it. And so many times I've pushed that feeling away and I regretted it. So now I know that that is literally ingrained in me and I need to trust my gut.
Yeah, we all need to. We really need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big thing for me with self-love. Yeah, just tuning in to myself and yeah, listening to my gut and my heart.
So good. So what has your self-love journey looked like?
I've always been quite intuitive ever since I was a little girl, but of course, especially in high school when you're a teenager and it's so easy to succumb to peer pressure. Like I kind of tried to push it out. Like my body would be like, "Oh, like don't go to this party," or like with alcohol, I don't really drink and I've never liked alcohol. But because everyone else was doing it, I would also drink, and I think that's when I was like ignore that's like not self-love at all. I was just completely ignoring what my body was trying to tell me. And I battled with that in university also. I think so I went to Rhodes University actually. And we would go out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and usually by Friday I'd be in my room crying, like locking my door, trying to hide from my friends. And then somehow they would come get me and drag me out. And that's, it took so long for me to get past that point where I could actually just be like, listen, no, I'm not going to come out tonight. I'm going to stay in and read because that's what I need to do right now. So I think it was only about 5 years ago that I really started paying attention to self love when I was living in China and life was kind of crazy and busy all the time. And I finally plucked up the courage to listen to myself and tell people no. And yeah, not embarrassed, but like, if I wanted to go on a meditation retreat, I would go on a meditation retreat. And even if people around me were kind of making jokes about it in China or whatever, it was just listening to myself and like knowing what was right for me. So yeah, it's kind of taken a while to reach this point, I think.
And I think that's important. It's a journey. And I think people think, even when they do my course, they're like, oh, so if I do this 8 weeks, I'm going to be fine. I'm like, well, you're going to be fine in the way that you are on a journey.
Yeah.
And then you will practice this every day.
Yeah, it's never ending, and I don't get it right all the time. Like, some months I can go every single day with journaling and meditation and yoga, and then also self-love takes different forms. So sometimes it's not doing all of that stuff that we think is, like, the best thing. Like, sometimes it is just watching a movie or, I don't know, like, not doing anything, like, just, like, lying in
Yes.
bed or yeah, just listening to ourselves. So it's an ongoing journey for sure.
So, what little self care things do you do daily?
Um So I do try to do my morning pages every day. So 3 pages. I try to do that because I have, like, a lot of vivid dreams, so I want to write them down. Um, and then I always have to have a big pot of tea. So I'm not a coffee drinker, but I need to have green tea, matcha tea, some kind of green tea, like, I need it. Um, yeah, so having tea, and today I started my day with yoga, but that's not how every day starts. Sometimes I just like have breakfast and then get started with my work. Yeah, but it's important for me to do some kind of exercise every day, like go for a walk or go to yoga, and definitely tea and journaling. And one thing that's, I guess it is a self love thing, but it's also for my relationship. Dane and I make sure we take 20 minutes every day just to sit down and make eye contact and actually talk about how we're feeling. So, not just about our day and plans and organizing things, but actually like what's going on inside us kind of thing. So that's a new thing.
That's so good.
Yeah, and it's
And how has it changed your relationship, do you think?
we actually listen to each other now because we give each other, we're not just thinking of the next thing we want to say in response. We
Mm.
often it's actually this form of therapy called imago. So it's like where one person speaks, will say like a few sentences and the other person has to paraphrase. So it's to make sure you're actually really listening to your partner or to your friend or family member. Yeah, and that's been super beneficial just to, so we stop having misunderstandings, and yeah, just make sure we're on the same page and like checking in with each other's feelings. So
Especially leading up to a wedding.
yeah, which was meant to be a month today.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
the things that this virus has caused.
I know, for reals. But yeah, those are some of the daily things that I like to do. And also reading, that's like one of my favorite hobbies. So I think if I have a day where I don't really read, I feel a bit out of sorts. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like to curl up with a book.
So nice. So tell us
Yeah.
a bit about your life journey because you've lived all over. And how did you end up in Cape Town?
Okay. So when I finished high school, so I was obsessed with acting and all things drama and theater ever since I was a little girl. So when I finished school, I went to a drama college in Scotland, which is where I'm from. And at the end of the first year, our professor, she told us that we all have to take a year out of college and go travel the world or find a place in the world. She actually told me to go to Italy and work in a cafe and just like study people so that my characterization of different roles would get better. But I don't know, I wanted to go somewhere further away. So I just Googled teach drama abroad. And then it came up, teach drama in Neisner.
What?
So I was like, okay. Yeah. So I moved to South Africa to teach drama for 6 months. And this was in 2007, and absolutely fell in love with this country. I'd never been here before. I was only 19, but I don't know. There was something about it. I was like, I'm going to come back here for sure. Um, and then I left and I went to live in America for 6 months, which I didn't enjoy at all. I was also teaching drama there, but it was very different. It was an all-girl summer camp. And yeah, I don't know. I miss South Africa so much. So instead of going back to the second year of my course in Scotland, I transferred to university in South Africa. So then I went to Rhodes. And I think everyone thought I was kind of crazy, but that's how much I love this country. Yeah, and then from Rhodes, I went on an exchange program to China, and that's where I kind of fell in love with Asia. And then after Rhodes, I moved to China for 8 years. So, I mean, I was in China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, but yeah, I spent like most of my 20s in Asia. And then, of course, as you do, actually on my second year in China, I met a South African, Dane, my fiance. And yeah, that was at the end of 2011. And we always kept in touch. And then in 2016, we crossed paths again in China. And then I decided, okay, we need to stop this long distance. And I decided to move to Cape Town, which is where he was living. So yeah, now I'm in Cape Town, and I've been here for 2.5, well, almost 3 years actually. So
and you're
yeah.
And you're going back to Scotland soon. Well, not soon anymore.
Well, that's the next move. That was supposed to happen in a month also. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows where we're going to end up? I mean, I don't think anyone knows what's going on in life right now. So we're all kind of in that uncertainty bubble together. So we might as well just embrace it.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned living in China. So tell us what you were doing there and what you loved about it and what you missed about it.
Yeah, so I first went to China as a student. So alongside drama, I was also studying Chinese, which super random. But yeah, so when I went back to China, I didn't actually have a job. I kind of went there on a whim and just trusted that something would come my way. And it did. So I ended up teaching drama for 6 months, but I was always looking to get back into actual acting for myself. And I saw this job ad in an animation studio looking for a voice actor for cartoons. And I was like, is that a real job? So I auditioned, and then I got the job, and that's the company I still work for today as a freelancer. Yeah, I ended up working. So it's China's biggest animation studio. It's kind of like the Disney of China. I worked there for 6 years, and I've been freelancing for 2 years for them. And I was the manager of their English voice acting department. So yeah, that was super fun, and I still miss China a lot. I think I'm kind of, when I first moved here, I missed it all the time. I was super nostalgic for it. And I think the parts I miss the most, it's just that ease of being able to travel. So I really love traveling, and living close to Hong Kong, I was able to fly to Thailand for the weekend or Japan. Like, it was so accessible. Whereas down here in Cape Town, it's a little bit harder to travel abroad. So I do miss that. I miss the ease of traveling. And I also just miss the inspiration. So obviously, things can be chaotic in China, but there's also like so many beautiful places to travel to, like the rice paddies and like the Great Wall, like all of these kind of big sites that we've heard of. And that really inspired me because I love writing. So the novel I'm writing is actually partly set in China. So I do miss that. I miss like that daily inspiration that I got from China. And then of course all my friends that are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really became like a second home to me. And yeah, I don't know when I'll go back again, but Not right now. I mean, I
Especially
was
not now.
obviously following the news like a
No.
crazy person since January because as soon as Corona started, COVID-19, as soon as it started, all my friends there were affected. So I feel like I've been following it since day one. Um, yeah, geez, I should not be reading the news this much.
If you weren't doing what you're doing, what do you think you would have been doing?
That is an awesome question because I think about it all the time. I'm constantly questioning my purpose. Um, to be honest, I think I would actually be in something to do with health and healing. Um, and I'm still thinking about having a bit of a career change actually. So the reason I studied drama was because in high school, I wanted to become a drama therapist. So combine drama and psychology.
Ooh.
Yeah. But in our last year of high school, at least in Scotland anyway, we get given a guidance counselor and they kind of look at our career plan and what we plan to study and see if it's a good fit. And my guidance counselor, I'm never going to forget this because I think I shouldn't have listened to her, but she told me that if I was to do drama therapy, I would get eaten alive because I told her that I really wanted to go into prisons and do like drama rehabilitation. And she was like so against the idea. And it put me off, even though I'd been so committed to doing that for
Wow.
years.
But it's so weird.
Yeah, I'm like, why did I listen to her? But also, why did she discourage me?
No, but yeah, she shouldn't have done, like, everyone is different. And just because it doesn't appeal to her, it doesn't mean that it doesn't appeal to you and that she should be putting you off.
Yeah. So then I completely forgot about it for a bit. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just do acting. But for me, acting has never been just about entertaining. Like I've always used it as a kind of healing for myself, like going into the
Mm.
roles of different characters and exploring like different personalities. But I still, yeah, I'm still super interested in alternative methods of healing. Like at the moment, I'm really interested in maybe studying Chinese medicine and acupuncture because I went to see a homeopath 2 weeks ago. He's also a kinesiologist, and he just said to me, "Why are you not in health?" Like as soon as I walked into the room, he's like, "I don't understand," and I was like, "I don't know either. Like I think I should be some kind of counselor or yeah, doing acupuncture."
Definitely your vibe.
Yeah, and then last night I don't know if you've seen the documentary Heal on Netflix.
On my Netflix list, I just haven't started it yet.
Okay, so it's amazing, and I feel like right now especially, it's like watch it, it's so good. But when I watch things like that, I'm just reminded that okay, I really want to do something more. Like I don't want to just do voice acting and make people laugh with cartoons. I hope that my book will inspire people to think in a different way and like maybe like open up some people's minds, but also yeah, I would love to explore alternative methods of healing at some point if I get the chance. So I think I would probably be doing something like that or running a bookshop.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. I remember when you saw that advert for, was it in Edinburgh? Hey, there was like a job to run a book. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, this is perfect for you. And it was so cute.
Yeah, I would have loved to have done that, but I mean, okay, now I that wouldn't be an option because I can't get to Edinburgh, but,
Uh, it looked like the cutest one as well.
yeah, and it felt like such a big sign. I remember, like, such a synchronicity because the bookshop is called The Golden Hare, and just that day, I had bought these little golden hair, like, little statues? Like, kinda candle holder things for our wedding tables, and they were all little hares, and I've also been looking at getting a tattoo of a hare, so I was like, "What is going on right
Yeah.
now?"
Maybe it'll be there when you get there.
Hopefully, yeah, let's see when all this passes.
Or you have to write a kid's book called The Golden Hair.
Yes. Actually, for years, I've been meaning I've got like this idea for a series of kids' books. So I just need to now I can get started because I've got lots of time. So,
Yes. Or you can do a new podcast for kids.
yeah. And I'm going to start actually this week, I am going to start doing some meditations for kids. So
Oh,
if
awesome.
you have any that you think, I don't even know if like Pepe if she's even like really listening to those kind of things, but when she gets a bit older.
I promise you, I put it on. I put inside timer for her when she's being fussy. I
Oh,
put some of the kids ones on. So yes,
yeah.
please do
I'm going to
some.
do some this week.
So what are your personal and professional plans going forward? Tell us about that.
Well, so a month today, on the 18th of April, we were supposed to get married here in South Africa. And then we were supposed to be going to Sri Lanka on our honeymoon and then moving to Edinburgh to start our new adventure. But thanks to Corona, everything is postponed. But that's okay. Like we've accepted that, and it's actually like the most responsible thing to do anyway. Like it's for the best. I don't want anyone to be in danger by coming to our wedding. I don't want my family and friends to have to travel from Europe right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't anyway, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm not quite sure what's going to be happening. We have postponed the wedding to October, and we've set a date, October 17th. So in exactly like, well, 6 months from the original date.
Oh, awesome.
Miraculously, all the vendors were free, the photographer, everyone. So I was like, okay, this is a good sign. So
Wow.
we've put that down in the diary. So hopefully that's happening. But now for the next 6 months, we don't really have anywhere to live because our apartment lease is up next month. And yeah, we're considering moving to Wilderness or Knysna, or I don't know, somewhere a bit more quiet, like just to live a bit. I guess we're all going to be living a bit more of a simple life for the next few months anyway. So why not move out to nature if possible?
Yeah, and be in the forest.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah, the golden hair.
yeah. Actually, like being able to focus a bit more. I think yeah, I guess that's like some of the good stuff coming out of it, that we're kind of forced to stop and actually just like
Slow down.
slow down, focus on the things that we've kind of always wanted to do but not had the time to do. Yeah, so, and career wise, luckily I work from home and in my little isolation recording booth. So work so far, work for me hasn't slowed down. I'm hoping that yeah, the voice recording work keeps coming and the editing work. And I also do some writing work for some clients around the world. So yeah, I guess because all of that is online, it should be fine. I'm feeling super grateful that I'm able to work from home, because I know for a lot of
Yeah.
people it's like a disaster. So yeah, just feeling quite blessed at the moment that there won't be too many other changes, hopefully. So yeah.
Yeah. You also do like translation for Mandarin and that kind of stuff as well, hey?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that kind of stuff is going to slow down. I guess it depends on like funding for some companies and stuff. Like there may be some of the recording work I do might go out the window, but I guess I can always find something to do. Like I said, I've been meaning to record meditations for Insight Timer for like months and I've not done it. But now that people are at home and people need and want to do meditations at the moment, I'm like, okay, maybe I can also make some additional income off of that, or
Yes.
not even some income, like actually just I like help people a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of amazing how many
Sounds fab.
people like my yoga studio are now doing live streams online for free.
Yes.
Like it just seems like, and I see you're also doing like, well, you have your home workout things for people anyway, but like
Challenge.
yeah, now is like the perfect time to do stuff like that. So
For sure. I'm lucky that the timing, I mean, I did my January one and it was amazing. And then half those girls have already signed up to do the next one. And I'd already planned to start on the 16th from then.
oh
I'd already
wow.
planned this date. It just happened that now it's kind of at the right place, right time. But
Yeah.
also because it's 6 weeks and then I keep the group open for a month afterwards. Even if people join in the last 2 weeks, they can still do the 6 weeks and
Yeah.
be part of it before I close the group and then start the next challenge. So it's just been, I'm very lucky that I've had to cancel obviously some clients and I can't do any secret
Yeah.
sunrise and that kind of stuff, but at least I've got that and the timing, it was all prepped. I mean, I'd already recorded my exercises, I think a week or two ago. So
That's
I'm so lucky
amazing.
that I'd already done that. And now I just have to edit them and add the music and all that stuff as I go. So
Yeah.
very grateful. So here's a question I hadn't put in for you. So I know that you do some voiceovers for, you were saying the other day, for Netflix. So
Yes.
tell us what characters you do, and will you do a voice for us?
Okay.
You might have to add it in later because I put it on the spot.
Yeah, so some of the stuff hasn't been uploaded to Netflix yet, but I think there's one series up at the moment and there's one movie. So it's all
So
this
cool.
through the Chinese animation company. I think the movie that's on there is called The Big Top Secret. So it's about a whole bunch of characters, that are like trying to fight against animal trafficking. So like, yeah, they
Cute.
yeah, so I guess, like, it's appropriate for, like, small kids and for teenagers also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that movie, I play a kangaroo, an Australian character, and a parrot. She is
Oh,
from
cute.
Brazil. Yeah, and
Do you have to
then
do it in those accents, or do you do it in Mandarin?
no, I do it in English. But
Oh, wow.
obviously like different accents. And then I I can attach some stuff to this like little clips or something because I have them like all
Yes.
on my computer instead of on the
Please
spot. So I'm
do. We
like,
want to
oh.
hear.
Cool.
Are we still doing this? Okay. Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Ah, I'm such a lucky little bunny. Oh, I'm so spoiled, aren't I, dear artichoke?
Huh? What is this thing? Let me build a chair.
Rambo, here's your suit.
Wow.
Be careful, it's hot. A famous explorer once said, when facing difficulties out in the wild, explorers should focus on the bright side.
That's cool, but I gotta go wash my hair later.
I'm working on a series right now. It's for a preschool series, so like an edutainment kind of series. Called Boonie Cups, and it's all these little like I play a little bear and a little fox, and they go to Pine Tree Kindergarten and they learn all about nature and how to protect the environment and stuff. So that's like
Oh.
suitable for young kids, like from around age 2, 3.
Where will
Um,
that be
yeah.
when it's finished?
That will also go on Netflix. We have a YouTube channel as well. I
Awesome.
guess the problem is like with copyright and stuff, so it depends who buys it. So it's on in China, and then
Okay.
different countries will also buy it and then dub it into their languages. So Boonie Cubs should be on Netflix soon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's like quite a random job, but it's fun to do like all these different voices and stuff.
Yeah.
And I still can't do a South African accent though. Like I've tried so many times, but I don't know. Every time I do it, it
It
just
is
sounds
pretty
Australian
hard.
or like Kiwi every time I do it. So I'll keep trying though.
But even when like Leonardo DiCaprio and them try and do it, like it just doesn't sound right. I don't know. I think they try and make it too
Yeah,
advanced and then it just comes across as fake.
yeah, I think so too. So
They're like South African. I'm like, no, that's not right.
yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah.
that's so funny.
But it would be cool to do a South
Aw.
African character one day. Let's see.
I think that can be your next goal.
Yeah.
I'll just send you voice notes and you must practice saying them.
I will.
So, where can people find you on social media?
So I am on Instagram at Piperina. That's like a kind of
Tell us about that.
so when I was a little girl, I was obsessed with Pippi Longstockings. I don't know if you know that character. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
say Swedish, Norwegian, one of those countries. Yeah, I was obsessed with her, and so my nickname was always Pippi. And then I don't know, one day I was just like, okay, Pipperina will be my Instagram name. So yeah.
It's like ballerina or something. It's cute.
But I think people actually think my name is then Pippi or like Pippa.
Pippa.
So
Yeah.
but it's not. It's just like a nickname thing. Yeah, and I also have a blog, although I have not blogged in so long, but my blog is lunafanula.com. So that
Cute.
yeah,
I'll put
yeah.
it all in the show notes.
Cool. And I'm also going to start my podcast again as well. So I was podcasting like a year ago. It's called The Lost Art of Little Things, and it can be found in like all the usual podcast places. But I stopped, and now I'm like probably time to start again, especially because it is like the perfect time to focus on the little things. So yeah, look out
Yeah.
for some episodes of that soon.
And also, I feel like if you move to wilderness, you can be like the Scottish Sarah Blondin. You can,
Yeah.
like in your cabin, you can be recording your meditation, and then you go down to the river, and then you record like the sounds of the river, and that's the backing track to your meditation.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
And the kiddies one, you'll be in your little
Yes.
kiddie voice, and you'll be doing the kiddie one down by the river with the golden hair.
That'd be so cool.
It'll be so cute.
Yeah.
Well, I've had fun talking to you.
Likewise. Thanks for inviting me on.
And everyone, this is the first time we've actually spoken. And how long have we been doing this for? Since we launched the week before Pepe was born. And
yeah, so like 9 months ago.
Yeah, basically. So we always I've voice noted her, and we WhatsApp all the time, and we talk on Instagram all the time, but we've never actually done like a voice call. So this is the first time that we properly spoke to each other.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We need to, I guess, like now that everyone's isolating, everyone should just like reach out to people, have conversations.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have some tea time, tea chats, some video.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I actually think I'm going to go do Instagram lives. I'm going to start a series and then do like tea time quarantine. Quarantine time. There we go.
Quarantine. Do it.
And then I'll go live. Like, so you and I will have a cup of tea, and then we'll do an Insta live, and people can ask us questions and watch us drinking our tea and having chats.
Yeah, because you can actually do Instagram lives with us. Like you can invite other people to go live with you, can't you?
Yeah.
I saw that feature today.
Yeah, so maybe I'll do it on a Tuesday.
Yeah, do it. That'd be really cool.
I'm going to do it. I think it's interesting. Yeah.
Another thing to add to your list of...
I know. I was like, I need to do my pushing Pepe on promenade, but I haven't done another one. And I'm like, I don't know if I should now. I'm going to have to wait to do it because, quarantine.
Yeah.
But I'll do that. That at least we can do in quarantine. I'll just come up to my Zen den and sit here and do it in here.
Aw.
But so we'll have our quarantine time soon.
Yes, we will.
And I will put all your details in the show notes so everyone can have a look. And then you can go stalk her on Instagram and then tell her in Insta story she needs to start doing videos and talking more so we can hear her amazing accent.
Oh, cool.
So thank you for being on this episode. And
Thanks,
you're going to
Jane.
be in another episode that we're doing. So I'll chat to you again and they'll hear you again.
Yeah.
But thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.